Did you just tell me to frig off, nerd? Frig off, nerd's a little over the line, my friend. Let's not start the stream like this, okay? Let's try to be decent. We're all friends here at the Thundercloud, okay? So watch your fucking mouth and show a little bit of respect, or you're not gonna get any of the turducken. And do you know what I put in my turducken? I put a little bit of donair mincemeat. So guess who's gonna be missing out? It's not gonna be me, the fucking turdonair. That's for sure. It's gonna be you. I'm glad I sound glorious, Sage. I have lung burn. I've got an awful cold, and still my voice is just beautiful, just beautiful. Kind of like the disciples and Jesus. It's that kind of a voice, isn't it? I like it. I like it. It's a good test. You needed a long test ramble, and you definitely baited me into a good ramble there, because you know I am a rambling man. All right, speaking of rambling, let's get to the Green Bay Packers, who yesterday they took care of business against the Detroit Lions. Now this game pretty interesting. I didn't get a chance to watch the entire game. I did have it on while I slept last night. Watched like the 40-minute broadcast as well. I'm not really sure where to start. I mean, Packers got off to a 3-0 lead to start on the road. They never relinquished their lead, so they led throughout the entirety of the game. They ended up winning 31-24, now improved to an 8-3-1 record. Detroit's now 7-5. But if you kind of break down the game a little bit here, so I know this isn't the best way to gauge things, but let's just look at it from a yards perspective. Okay, so for a yards perspective, Jordan Love had 234 yards. Jared Goff and David Montgomery combined for 233. So, I mean, that's pretty damn even. Green Bay had 125 yards rushing. Detroit had 119. So I'd say that's pretty damn even as well. In terms of yards on special teams, I believe special team returns favored Detroit by about 50 yards, something like that. Now, for negative plays, definitely benefited the Packers. You got the Packers with 3 sacks, 2.5 of them going to Micah Parsons, 7 tackles for loss, and only 1 tackle for loss for the Lions. They didn't even get a sack. So those are some interesting numbers to look at. Overall, very, very close game. I did predict, and I was right. Jahmyr Gibbs, I thought we'd hold him in check, and absolutely we did. We kept him to 3.4 yards per carry. We kept him in check in week 1 as well. Remember, they were calling Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery ass and cheeks because they weren't very good in week 1. So that's a big thing there. Jameson Williams, I mean, had a huge game. That's one aspect we weren't able to stop. Amon St. Brown went down early, so that probably led to more targets for Jameson Williams as well. But other than that, I love what the Green Bay Packers defense did. They took care of business. 4th downs is really the difference in this game. The Packers were 3 for 3 in some critical situations, whereas Detroit was 0 for 2. I believe they were 0 for 2. One of the ones that they went for it, they should have just kicked the field goal. But you know how Dan Campbell is, doesn't want to kick a fucking field goal and, potentially change the landscape of the game. That's just the way he is. But now Jordan Love, completely amazing. 4 touchdowns, 234 yards. Our receivers got it going a little bit there. Dontavian Wicks had a breakout game. 6 receptions, 94 yards, 2 touchdowns. Christian Watson, 4 receptions for 80 yards and a touchdown. Romeo Doubs got me a touchdown, only 20 yards on 4 receptions, but we'll certainly take that. And David Montgomery did me a little favor, got me a little touchdown as well. Looks like I'm about ready to win this week in fantasy, ladies and gentlemen. But I think next week's going to be fun. We've got the Bears, who we're going to get to shortly, so maybe we'll save that to the end. But big on the Packers, improving to 3-0 in the division. And we do have the best division in football, in my opinion, if not the top 2, I would say. Because we got the goddamn, whatever the Chiefs division is, I do remember that. Let's take a look at the next game. Remember, I felt really good. I wanted to pull the trigger. I think I might have eventually. At first I said Chiefs, because I think it was a -3, something like that for the Chiefs to win by. And I think I might have said Chiefs at first, and then Cowboys to cover. And then I think late I said, nah, fuck it, Cowboys. I think I did say that. Anyways, I really liked what the Cowboys are doing. They're in a bit of a groove right now. Now, they do have to play Detroit next week, so that is going to be a pretty formidable team to play. But they got the job done against Kansas City, putting Kansas City in rough shape. Kansas City now 6-6 after losing 31-28 to the Dallas Cowboys. Patrick Mahomes played a great game, 4 touchdowns, 130 rating. Dak Prescott wasn't quite as good. 100 rating, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. What did this for them? I'm just trying to see. I mean, Dak did have 320 yards, which is fine. Rushing the ball, neither team was like much different than the other. Was there some turnovers? Looks like Rasheed fumbled one. I don't know. I guess they just found a way to win. Statistically speaking, there was no like big turnovers or anything I can see here other than the Prescott interception. So, big win for Dallas, 6-5-1. So they still have their playoff hopes alive. It's still going to be an extremely hard time for them to get to the postseason. Sage says the NFC North is definitely the most competitive division. Honestly, with the Bears on the rise, it's going to be a cockfight. And kind of Minnesota last year, I think they overachieved a little bit, so this does happen. Next year, the Bears will probably settle down a little bit. But when you've got like 2 really legit teams, and then there's always a third and or fourth that are playing good ball, like even Minnesota, they're not necessarily a team you want to play. I know they're maybe 4-7 or 5-7, whatever they are. They're still a good team. It's just their quarterback is just not very good. We can agree that if they had Sam Darnold, they wouldn't probably be as good as last year, but they'd be in a better spot, right? All right. Now this game I liked. I remember I said I liked Baltimore to win, and I liked Cincinnati to cover the 7-point spread, the +7. Well, I got the best of both worlds. So all 3 teams that I was going for won. The Bengals beat the shit, absolutely beat the shit out of the Baltimore Ravens, 32-14. I went to bed with tears in my eyes. I was clutching, my Joe Burrow headband, and then I put it around my head, and I started looking at the rookie card, and tears just started flowing. It's very exciting that now I share the same record as Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals, 4-8, and him and I are going to have to run the table together. It's there's nothing more poetic than me and Joe Burrow having to do this together, and there's no man on this earth that I'd rather go to war with. So welcome back to the team, Joe Burrow. Rating 84, doesn't matter. You got me 2 touchdowns. You did what you had to do. You took care of business. and now we're going to win in fantasy this week. I love you, Joe. I love you, Joe Burrow. I want you to know that from the bottom of my fucking heart. I'm going to go get another headband. That was beautiful what you did, and I hope you enjoyed that turkey leg too, Joe. I hope you enjoyed that. I appreciate it, Sage. You know, I hope Jeffrey Simmons one day has the privilege of playing in a Thanksgiving game. He has 4 or 5 sacks, and then he can eat a little bit of a turducken too. That's what I hope for you, from the bottom of my heart. You know, Thanksgiving, we got to keep it on a nice note here. But just want to say I love you, Joe Burrow. And you know what, Sage? I love you for giving me Joe Burrow and showing that you're not the spineless coward that I thought you were. So I appreciate that. Happy Thanksgiving, Sage. That was a good little gift there for me. It's a good little gift. So if my Titanic is sinking, at least I'm going down with the captain, Joe Burrow. All right. Running, well, it's pretty even, 128 to 123, although Baltimore was much more efficient, only having 22 carries against, Cincinnati's 33. But the problem was, my memory could be wrong, probably is not wrong. I believe Baltimore turned the ball over 5 fucking times. You can't be turning the ball over 5 fucking times. Yeah, I'm right. 4 fumbles, 4 of them lost, with an interception by Lamar Jackson, who has not looked good, only had a 65 rating last night. It's not going to get the fucking job done. Not going to get the fucking job done. You know what is really funny? Actually, I'll get to your comment in a second. So, Bengals 4-8. They do have to run the table even just to have a shot. Still going to be extremely hard, but you never know. Baltimore 6-6 now falls to second in the AFC North. Steelers need to take care of business because, they're currently in first. They need to take advantage of it. They've been playing some shit ball lately. But yeah, before we get to the last game, the Black Friday game, I do want to read what Sage is saying. No one gives a shit about the Titans. The last time they had one was against the Lions in 2008 on Thanksgiving, and Lamar is playing fucking terrible. So I think I remember that game, the Titans and the Lions. It was when the Lions were not a very good team. I think it was when they were absolutely putrid. And I think Kyle Vanden Bosch was in the game. I could be wrong. I think maybe you want to look this up for me, but I think Kyle Vanden Bosch maybe had a very good game. The Titans won 47-10. Is that when they had that quarterback, that old man, Kerry? Was that when they had Kerry Collins? Was it Kerry Collins that they had that year? You must remember Kerry Collins. Gary fucking Collins, yes! Chris Johnson, yeah, I remember that. Vanden Bosch was on that team too, right? That's when they carried that defensive line. Because they had a really nice defensive line either in 07 or 08. I forget which year. We're going to shout out Jeff Fisher. Happy Thanksgiving, Jeff. Vanden Bosch had a sack. All right, man, I don't usually remember that stuff too well, but no, I knew he did something, honestly. Curse was good too. I remember that. I remember when you guys had Albert Hainsworth, which was really good. When you guys had Albert Hainsworth, when he went to Washington, though, what an absolute disaster that was. That is one of the most disappointing contracts of all time. It was when Hainsworth, I think at the time he signed huge money. Yeah, you guys had good defense those years for sure. Yeah, I remember it was mostly that front seven, because I know you had some linebackers. Was it Mike Bullock? Did you have Mike Bullock as one of your linebackers? I seem to remember Keith Bullock. It was there was a Bullock on your team, I'm pretty sure. Keith Bullock, Stephen Tulloch. Oh, yeah. Those are some good linebackers to have, actually. Wow. That's incredible, honestly. It's kind of crazy, Sage, that I got, I'm not a big Tennessee fan, but the fact that I remember those players, That's kind of impressive for not being a fan. But I used to trade for a lot of those players in like Madden and shit. You know what I mean? So when I was playing Madden, I kind of knew a little bit more about the sport, just from a roster perspective. You know what I mean? Yeah, the front seven. I remember. Cause I remember that defense was one of the top in the league. Definitely one of the top in the league for sure. Let's get to what happened today in just 1 second. I remember Cortland Finnegan. He was a good corner. I don't think he was great. I think didn't him and Buddy come to blows. It was a Bengals player. It was the wide receiver there. Ocho Cinco. Didn't they come to blows one game? Oh, it was Andre Johnson. I mixed them up. Are they the same? Andre kicked the shit. That's Houston. Okay, that's Houston's guy. Yeah. Well, I mean, Andre Johnson was like 6'4", 6'5". Andre Johnson was a fucking hell of a wide receiver. Actually, I used to love watching him play. He could definitely get up and get the ball. That's for sure. I will look up that tussle after the stream. Absolutely, I will. He ragdolled him. It's been that long though, man. Eh? It's been that long since this stuff happened, like 15 years or more. Crazy. Anyways, let's take a look at what happened today. Big implications for the NFC and the NFC North as well. Philadelphia found a way to lose to the Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears now 9-3. The Eagles are now 8-4. So, big win for the Bears. They're definitely, in my opinion, going to make the playoffs. I do not think they're going to win the division. I still would favor both the Packers and the Lions over them, to be honest. Right now, I think it's the Packers' division to win. I don't trust certain components of the Bears. But, hey, you beat the Eagles. The Eagles have a great defense. You put 24 points on the board. And, hey, you were actually pretty decent on defense today, only allowing 15 points. Now, quarterbacks. Let's look at the tail of the tape between the two quarterbacks. You got Caleb Williams, 17 for 36. That's under a 50% completion percentage. Only 4.3 average. 1 touchdown, 1 interception. That's not going to get the job done against the Packers. I'm just going to say that right now, Caleb. You better get your shit together. Jalen Hurts probably wasn't much better. Maybe he was. It looks like he was better. 230 yards, 2 touchdowns, an interception, 84 rating. So 84 is higher than 57. So advantage goes to the Eagles there. Now, rushing the ball does look incredible for the Bears, who have been able to, after the first 4 or 5 games, they weren't particularly great against, rushing the ball. They have been getting a bit more clever and creative rushing, and they have been kind of fun to watch. This is a pretty big game for them. Probably the best game they'll have all year, and it is against a great team, too, defensively. Kyle Monaghay, 130 yards on 22 carries. I mean, that's a whopping 5.9 yards per carry with a touchdown there. DeAndre Swift's been good all year. 18 carries, 125 yards. It's a 6.9 average, so even higher. Also with a tote in there. They rushed for 281 yards. Saquon Barkley could only muster 56 on 13 carries. The average isn't bad, 4.3. Probably a reason they had to abandon it a bit, though, is because were they trailing throughout the entirety of the game, or no? The game was pretty close. I'm surprised they didn't run the ball a little bit, just a little bit more. I'd expect to see more than 13 carries. I mean, the Bears ran 47 carries today to 17 carries by the Eagles. That's just a huge difference there. Offensively, no one was really outstanding receiving the ball for the Bears. A.J. Brown played 2 touchdowns, 132 yards on 10 receptions. Just trying to see kind of what the turnover battle looked like. So we know that Hurts threw a pick, and Hurts also fumbled the ball. So Hurts had 2 turnovers. So I think the two turnovers definitely played a big role in this game. It does not look like Chicago had a sack, and it looks like Philly had 2 sacks. So I mean, Chicago didn't even play great defense when you kind of look at the box score. 1 tackle for loss, 3 passes defended, no sacks. I can't wait. Bring it on. Bring it on. Bayard got a pick. That's fine. I can't wait to see what they do in Green Bay, because they're gonna get their asses kicked. Let's take a look at the comments here. Let me just say, back when the Titans brought me joy, the Bears, Chris Farley cosplaying Mike Ditka is so proud. Well, Chris Farley was a Packers fan, so he knew what the hell he was talking about. And yep, Montague and Swift did fuck them up hard. Sage says, I was watching a bit of the game. The Eagles could not get anything past the Bears D-line. Okay, so they were playing a bit of stuff in the gaps and that sort of thing. And Hurts wasn't effective. Hurts, I think there's a lot of times you say that. Hurts isn't really the most effective quarterback in football, and I think he's one of the most overrated. All right. Should we get to the standings, or should we wait until... We should probably wait till the end of the week, shouldn't we? Yeah, it's always good at his fucking half-yard runs. It's all he's good at is fucking half-yard runs, man. Can't stand him. Yeah, I like end of the week. For some reason, this had me thinking it was the end of the week. It's not. I got a little too eager, and we'll do the preview episode tomorrow. So we're not going to make our predictions tonight. Let's just take a look and see if there's anything in baseball. I don't believe there has been. There is a rumor going around that I'll break shortly. I'm trying very hard not to cough extremely loud in your guys' ears. There is a rumor going around that the Mets, this is according to Hector Gomez, I know Sage is in cahoots and loves Hector Gomez to death, who reported the Anthony Santander signing last year. They're projecting that the Mets are going to sign 32-year-old Framber Valdez to a 6-year, $200 million contract. They also believe part of the reason why they traded for Marcus Semien is because Framber Valdez is a ground ball pitcher, and Marcus Semien still does play great defense at second, which would kind of make a bit of sense. So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, that's the only thing I got. I got Devin Williams. Marlins have interest in Devin Williams and Pete Fairbanks. Who wants to sign with the Marlins, though? That's all I'm going to say. And then the last thing I'm going to say, you get fourth quarter Steven. He knows it might not be the fourth quarter, but this week and next week, this is the end of the third quarter, pivoting into the fourth quarter. Knowing what needs to be done, I find myself with 220.58 points on the board, projected for a smooth 342. Looks like I am going to win this week. It also worth noting, it's a cockfight between Deflate These Balls and Butt Fumble Safety. The projections are within 3 points. I don't want to get carried away. But I think my playoff streak will be alive when I go up, and then next week I have to go up against TDs in your face to get in. And I have no problem beating the shit out of a woman to get to my fucking prize glory, my possession. What is the Orange Cup? Nothing's gonna fucking keep me from the Orange Cup. I don't care if I have to slit a fucking throat to get to that fucking orange cup. That cup is my fucking cup. Oh, God, what did I say? Oh, no, man, did I... The Orange Bowl. We're going to have to call it the Blood Bowl. The Blood Bowl. Oh, yeah, that's juice, Sage. Don't worry. That's just juice. It's not blood. It's not blood. I didn't kill TDs in your face to get to the playoffs. And then set the roster to my liking. Okay? Just remember that. Alright. Let's call it there before I'm indicted on suspicion of plotting some sort of murder. And now I'm thinking of Chris Benoit. Alright, no, it's time to get out of here. It's time to get the fuck out of here. Alright, Sage, I watched the Andre Johnson fight. I'm glad your audio is better and you made a worthwhile purchase. If you haven't hit the like button, hit the fucking like button. Have a good night, and we'll be back at it tomorrow. I ended it at a good time, Sage. I ended it at a good... I'm not going to read your message, but I appreciate it. Alright, good night, guys.